Hey, everybody, this is Craig Loigren, and you are listening to the Collective Podcast with Christian and Gerry. Listen right here and hashtag get that leg. Hashtag get that leg, get that leg!
Back again. This is the big milestone, Gerry. It's the 10th episode of the podcast.
I still can't believe that, Christian.
I can't even believe that we even made it this far. But yeah, we have a very special episode today. It's the return of Tales of the Filmmakers.
Ooh.
And how good it is that it wound up lining up like this, because last week, we just celebrated the 5th anniversary of Caputo Collective's first film under the company name Mindvision. And as promised...
There's so many things we have to talk about on this one.
And as promised from our Black Sun episode, we will be traveling back to discuss everything from development, pre-production, production, the difficult post-production, my personal life affecting the film's release, Gerry's first time producing,
and
yes. Of course...
Too many stories in that one.
Of course, our wonderful watch-along. But first, I just want to name some things real quick before we dive right into it. Craig Loigren, great episode.
So much fun to interview him.
Shout out to Fuzz on the Lens for sharing the...
Yes, that was amazing of you guys to do. We couldn't appreciate it anymore, and the support is just inevitable from you, and we will still continue to support anything that you guys do in your endeavors.
Oh, and of course. And so... Going over some things real quick. On YouTube, on the Caputo Collective page, I just released, at this point, it will be like 2 weeks old, but first looks at reaction trailers. I did a reaction video to the Star Trek Season 2 Discovery video.
Right.
I also did reaction to the Glass trailer. So those are up if you want guys to take a look and comment and argue with me about Star Trek lore and how I'm dumb.
I'm in every comment.
Oh, yeah.
I'm his biggest fan.
So this is dropping in August, this episode. So last week, at the time that you're hearing this, was the first episode of Collective Gaming. It was Maniac Mansion. Next week, we're having a big Sonic week at Collective Gaming.
Ooh.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
I hope I'm not invited.
Oh, yeah, well, you might be there. I'm not sure. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, it's Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on Collective Gaming. And then after that, it's going to be another podcast, which hopefully maybe we'll have a guest, maybe we'll do topic, maybe we'll do something else. Who knows? But yeah, we're dropping loads of content on the YouTube page. And yeah, so that's...
We do what we do, people.
So before we go, follow us on Facebook at Caputo Collective Productions, Collective Podcast. Also on Facebook, on Twitter, Caputo Collective. And subscribe. Thanks for listening. And so, Gerry, I'm going to have you take it away, just like last time. You'll be picking my brain, trying to get all this stuff that's going on.
So that means you don't have regrets from when I hosted on the last one?
No regrets.
I'm sure you will on this one.
Well, I definitely will, because Gerry, as I said before, is going to be... He was there, obviously, for everything that we're going to talk about, but he wasn't there in my brain about all the development.
You sure about that?
Well, I don't know. But figuring out what was going on in my crazy brain and everything that's going on. He was just there for the production and pre-production and everything. But what really was going on in my brain, this is what's going on for the podcast. And then after this, we're going to have a nice little watch-along, which will be split into 2 videos if you want. I have my nice production Bible right here, so I have stuff to refer to. And now I'm going to shut up because I'm rambling. So, Gerry, take it away.
I think that one of the best things we have to refer to on this is how we auditioned the people that we got to go on Mindvision for it.
I totally forgot. No. So we had 2 actors. It was a 2 to 3 person actors. It was 2 or 3 actors.
With you playing like an extra in one of the scenes.
Okay, well 5. If you want to count 5, because we had our DP. Michael House. We had we had me as an extra.
Glenn.
Glenn was I forget the character's name already. That's why I have my binder with me. we had Glenn, who played John, and we had
Glasses Man.
Glasses Man.
Glasses Man.
We had Glenn.
Oh, look at that face.
Yeah, and we had John Wall. There we go, John Wall. He was
I never knew his last name until just now.
So it's just funny. It's House and Wall, but they were the two main characters.
House and Wall.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we need a moment of just silence and dedication to that right now. All right, we'll give it 10 seconds.
But we had those two actors involved in this process. I'll go over that real quick before I move on. But we also had, in her first role, her only role, it was my cousin Elizabeth. She was this was 2013, right? So she was 11 at the time.
Oh wow!
And we had her come. It was funny because she went to a Taylor Swift concert the night before, so she came home like 2 a.m. And as her mom joked around with me when she texted me, "Oh yeah, we're on our way," so she didn't require much makeup for the role. But I'm just kidding. But we'll get to that point. But yeah, they auditioned in my backyard, same way as Black Sun.
I know. Yeah. That was like our first time really trying to do auditions and stuff too.
I don't quite remember like how the auditions went. Other people, for some reason, maybe it's because the time of.
There was a couple I liked here and there.
Yeah.
I felt like for those two at the time when we were like picking who was going to be best for the Mindvision roles, they had the chemistry for some reason. I felt like it worked in that dynamic.
One of them had a Power Rangers shirt, right? That's
yes.
What it was. Yeah, it was Glenn. Glenn had the Power Rangers shirt. That's what I remember. Yeah, they auditioned. It was really good. I chose them. We auditioned them in around like I want to say May. I want to say May because we shot it in July. It was either April or
like
May.
mid-July.
Yeah, it was like mid-July, which is why we're up to the anniversary. But yeah. But that's what we did.
There was something interesting that happened during like the filming of it. So we had to, if I'm not mistaken, get rid of the air condition for the noise purposes, right?
Yeah.
So how long, if you can remember, we were filming without air condition? Because you have to think this was like the summer for July. I'm gonna say a solid 90 degrees throughout like the area.
Well, it was 90 degrees outside. We had to turn the air conditioner off because of because the sound was getting into the camera and microphone. But I think we're jumping ahead too quick. Like I think people want to know like how I came up with the idea before we get really deep into the production of the craziness that was on the day of the set of everything.
The idea is always in production.
Oh yeah, well, I always came up with the idea, but for development. Crazy, all you people out there that know creepypasta. If you go on those forums, it's where like they came up with Slender Man and all those other cryptozoology.
You were obsessed with the Slender Man.
Oh, I'm still obsessed with Slender Man.
You showed it to me like 5 times.
Oh yeah.
Like when that was happening.
So like they have like all like video game related creepypasta creepy stories. Example would be Pokemon the Lavender Town theme. They had to change the theme because it was making kids kill each other, like commit suicide and murders and stuff. That was an interesting story. But one story popped up for me, which was really interesting. And I said, wow, this could be a really good story for a movie. There was a haunted Legend of Zelda cartridge.
Yeah.
And everybody knows I'm a big Legend of Zelda fan. And what it was the story was called Ben Drowned.
Now it's coming back to me.
Yeah, so that's what the story was. And sorry, I'm taking a drink. And basically, the story was this guy either he bought the cartridge or he got a cartridge of Majora's Mask, and it had a file on it already called Ben. So he deleted the file, and what happened was the game started glitching and very weird things. But the thing became self-aware and started referring to the person that was playing the game, telling them all these creepy stuff, and then the person just disappeared. Or died. So I said, wow. I was like, this is an interesting idea for a story. And this was like 2011 I started writing the script. And that was the start of like the time where my life was falling apart. But we'll get to that a little later.
There once was a story.
Oh yeah, but that was the original concept for it, and the script went through like 2 or 3 different versions before I actually got to it.
I only thought 2. I didn't think more than that.
Yeah. So like the script was, it basically had the same ideas to it, but it had some weird, crazy concepts that I put in it. Like, I put a little bit of like what happened in my life into the story, like some crazy stuff. So like as the main character was starting to go crazy within the movie,
Yeah.
I started to come up with some weird concepts from what I saw in my life. For example, I don't know how we were going to do this, but I had it like he was driving in like a wooded area. It would have been near Wolfspound Park, where this actually happened to me. And you know the story.
Oh, and how convenient. At the time, it was like 5 minutes away from my house.
Oh, yeah, well, you know the story because I told you, but crazy things happened tonight. I was coming home from my friend's house. This was, I want to say 2009, 2008. Might have been, no, it was 2007, and I was half awake, and my mom was driving me. And you know when you're half awake, you're in that daze?
Oh, yeah.
So
it's called last night.
Oh, yeah. So, like, I my eyes are open. I'm, like, half awake. And all of a sudden, I see this thing run across the street. It had no torso.
And it was the first Staten Island deer.
Yeah, and no, it had no torso. It had 2 pair of legs. All that we saw was a pair of legs run across the street.
Get that leg?
Yeah, get that leg. So, so I turned to my mom and I go, hey, I don't want to, like, say anything, but, like, did you see a pair of legs run across the street? And she goes, I didn't want to say anything neither, but I did see a pair of legs.
Oh, God.
So, just like that, I really wanted to get into, like, the psychological of the character and how that was done. Another one was he was trying to bury the game in the woods.
I don't think I heard this one.
Yeah, this was another one. No, he wasn't trying to bury the game in the woods. He was in the woods, and I think he was trying to bury it. This was another crazy concept I came up with. And he started going crazy that he saw a pixelated character out in the woods. Like, it was a video game character. It was a video game sprite.
Yeah.
And it was beckoning him to follow him. And in the game, I don't remember if the character... Well, when we watch it, I'll pick it up, but... The name that was on the cartridge, I'm just going to refer to it as Ben, was that sprite was beckoning him to follow him. So as he was burying the cartridge, he's looking at the sprite and he's going crazy. And I sound crazy explaining this right now, but he follows it and the sprite leads him to the gravesite of the person that died playing the game.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was one of the concepts.
It's a nice idea.
I didn't know how I was gonna.
I think I should steal it.
Yeah.
Vote yes or no in the comments.
Yeah, put yes or no in the comments below. But that was one. That was one concept, crazy concept I came up with. Another one was, which you're going to see remnants of in the movie, which we're going to get into that when we get into post. But another one was he gets sucked into the video game. At the end. He gets sucked into it, and then he falls down like one of those pits and dies, and then he like flatlines.
It's like a never-ending dream.
Oh yeah. Really messed up stuff, as you could tell, like in my life, what was going on. I was coming up with like dark things that were like, how many ways how I could kill this character. It would have been green screened and stuff. But see, I want to ask you a question now, Gerry. Since these Tales of Filmmakers. Things are always questioning me. When I came to you with the idea, and this was in the embryonic stages of you and me working with each other. This might have been like the 3rd or 4th year we started working with each other. But what was your mindset when I asked you, Gerry, let's make a movie?
I'm always willing to see how the idea comes to life. So even if it's something I'm not as much into, I'll always be willing to take the chance and see like if it's going to prosper, if it's going to develop into something that it would be relatable for people to watch.
Yeah. So, like, when I told you the idea, you must have been looking at me like...
I was looking at you like, Christian, you are fucking stupid.
No, but what did you think of it, like, when I presented you, like, the video game idea?
I thought it was an interesting concept. I mean, one of my secret favorite movies is Videodrome. So I was always, like, encaptured by the aesthetics of that movie for its time. I think it was made, like, in 83 or 84.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, so I was, like, really impressed with how the storyline was, and it kind of gave me that feel when you first said the idea to me. So I wanted to see how it would be redefined in the 2013 setting at the time.
So when I asked you, everything started getting into motion, and then I do want to do a quick backstory, retreading back to this was 2011 when I wrote the script, and then I finished the script like 2012, somewhere around that. And then this is around the time I graduated film school,
right?
And I was just very depressed. I really wasn't hanging out with anybody because I couldn't find a job, and I was just very I was a recluse.
Now you want to know how you were hitting the low point?
Yeah.
When you were filming stuff for Broken Records magazine with me.
Oh yeah, well.
Seeing my very cringy interviews, and I actually looked at a couple of them recently, and I was saying I had no delivery or no charisma in front of the camera at the time.
Maybe that's a Tales for the Filmmakers.
Exactly. Oh, that should be a whole nother thing too.
Oh yeah. No, but
Hashtag Cody Simpson.
You were young. Yeah, that was our first interview. You were kind of depressed. I was deeply depressed, but so then I got forced back into going to school in late 2012. And then I wound up finding a job.
I still remember that.
Yeah, then I wound up finding a job in the city. Then I quit school and I worked there for a little bit as a freelancer, editing and going on sets and stuff. I worked with some of the members from the Chew.
Yes, I remember you saying that.
Yeah. But then that was the point when I said, okay, I can financially make a movie now. And then we met with Michael House, who was the DP for a movie, and I think it was March 2nd, 2013.
Oh yeah, I remember, because didn't we meet at Starbucks around then?
Yeah, we met at Starbucks
in New Dorp.
And then we went to you had a band show that
when I was still doing that.
Yeah, and then you and me went to Papa. Was it Papa? No, it was Little Caesars, and we had
that was the same day.
Yeah, that was. The
oh my
In
god!
the backyard. But yeah. So and then we tried to get financing, and you can tell that part of the story, Gerry, trying to get the financing for that. Well,
it went nowhere when we still had to pay out of pocket by the end of it. We were trying to do. I think we tried the Indiegogo thing on that particular project.
Nothing.
And really. Absolutely nothing. I think what was it, $500 or something? Yeah,
that's all we put down was for.
I think we got maybe $80 or $90.
Yeah, that wasn't
because I think we promised we were going to do half of it crowdfunding and half of it out of us.
Yeah, which I'll get into the budget on the binder in a little bit. But then we tried to do a movie, not a movie night at the Cup.
Oh, now it's really coming back to me.
For Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, shout out to Bobby. I don't know if you saw his Facebook. He's looking good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got skinny?
He's a skinny
French
fry.
Good for him. But he.
I see him all the time at McDonald's. We'll put it that way.
Oh God. But we tried to do Evil Dead 2. Avengers, because that was the popular thing at the time.
Oh yeah, and I still like that movie.
And then we saw Wayne's World. Those were 3 movies we were going to have for Cinco de Mayo, and we were going to get a cut of the door or something like that. That didn't work out. And then we decided, fuck it, we'll just pay out of pocket.
We'll do it live.
Yeah, we'll do it live. The locations I actually negotiated for GameStop when it was on New Dorp Lane. Or Game Champ? Who's Game Champ?
Game Champ.
Game Champ, yeah.
That was kind of easy for you, right?
Yeah, I just walked in saying...
I was going to say, you didn't have too much of a problem with that. Yeah, if anything, I felt like you had more problems with Georgie's apartment than that.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, I don't want to go into a rant about Georgie's apartment and other things. That'll be... If I drink enough, I'll start ranting.
He's getting drunk off the cokes without the jack.
Mm-hmm. But no, yeah, we had Georgie's apartment in the Tysons' apartments, and I slept overnight.
I still remember that.
Yeah, it was...
And I'm kind of looking at you Chris, are you sure you really want to do that right before?
Why? What was your...
No, I was kind of looking at you you're only about 15-20 minutes away.
Yeah, but the problem was, and I don't want to speak ill about George, but he has a tendency to forget. And I wanted to make sure okay, I'm in the apartment.
Yeah.
And if I'm in the apartment, I'm there, and that's the location, and I'm there, and I'm in there, and nothing can go wrong because I'm there.
Exactly.
Unlike if I went when I was if I was home and I drove to the apartment and he wasn't there and there was no way to get into the apartment and I put money on this and everything and we couldn't get in, that would have been quite an issue. So I figured if I was sitting in there, there would be no way it can go wrong.
Didn't we still start late on the first day?
Yeah, we started late on the first day because
I think Glenn was late or something like that.
Glenn was late. John was a little late.
He was like 15 minutes late. Glenn was over an hour late, I think.
House had a massive stomach virus on set.
But he was there before both of them.
Yeah,
that was the funny part.
He literally, we had to cut the day in half, in short.
Right.
Because he had a massive stomach virus on set. Panicking. But we'll get into the...
You handled that pretty well, though.
Let's get into the production day and see... and let me open up my production Bible to see exactly what happened. So I'll get into the budget real quick. If I can find the budget.
Christian, your glasses have to go more down your nose as you're reading it. There you go.
Here's my stick figures.
Like a real accountant.
Here's my stick figures of... You can hear me going. So yeah, so the crew was supposed to arrive at 8:30 in the morning. They didn't get there till like 10.
Yeah.
That literally cut into my my schedule because at 9:30 to 10:15 we were supposed to shoot a night scene.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Because you were kind of working backwards.
Yeah,
I
was working backwards because the first day I was shooting without my cousin.
Yeah.
Then that was the second day. On the Sunday I was shooting with my cousin. Here's the pictures of the apartment. Oh, permits. I have the permits.
All your selfies are in there.
Yeah, Four Walls House. See.
Is that his resume?
No, this is his. This is a. The hell is this? Oh, this is a contract between me and.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, this is a contract for us to shoot at GameStop.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But we did, the first day was so hot.
Yes.
We had to turn the air conditioner off still. And in between shots, I kept the air on. But there's one thing that, it's funny is my friend George doesn't believe in turning on air conditioning. So if it's like 100 degrees out, good thing for him is his apartment is located right on the fire escape. He just sleeps out in the fire escape at night.
I never knew that.
Yeah, he just sleeps. He refuses to turn the air conditioner on.
I mean, you have it at that point.
It's money. He doesn't want to spend money, and that's the thing. He'll sit there in nighttime. It could be pitch black out. He'll sit there, still be awake. Maybe on his computer, all the lights will be off, because he just doesn't want to spend money. He's cheap. I'm no bones about it. He's cheap, but. When I told him we were turning the air on, it was just, he was, what do you mean turn the air on? I have to turn the air on.
George is like, that's not in the budget.
But yeah, so to some of the scenes which out of context here, but when we get into the watch along, I'll explain it a little better, is that we had to block out the windows.
Yes.
With garbage bags.
For like sound purposes.
Yeah, for lighting and for sound purposes. And anybody that does filmmaking knows that lights are hot. So picture it's 90 degrees outside. Inside you have, you had House, you, the two actors, myself. At the time. So this was day one. So you had 5 people in the apartment. I don't want to say big people because there weren't really heavy set people. But
my Macklemore shirt on.
Yeah, oh yeah, your Macklemore shirt on.
Shout out Macklemore.
Everybody was sweating. It must have been 120 degrees in there. It was a sweatshop.
Yeah.
We couldn't open up the windows. We had all the fans on. Georgie had portable fans, and we were sweating. Your shirt was pretty much wet. House was dying. Because he was dehydrated.
Right.
I remember you bought him like a 6-pack of Gatorade, and he was like chugging.
Yeah.
He was chugging them because he was so dehydrated.
Yeah, I think I ran out to the store or something.
Yeah, I was just sick. I was starting to get sick that day. And the aftermath, everybody was going to hear the aftermath on that. And we did half a day. We shot around 2, and then I went home and took a shower. Then I came back to the apartment, still hot. Still air conditioning.
Didn't you sleep over the next night too?
Yeah, I slept over the next night too.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
And
then I went out to a party in Brooklyn that night.
But one of the shots we did was we had to shoot the TV first, and then we had my cousin do, and we didn't buy a green screen because we had to cut it up. And I know this is sounding a little jumbled, but when it's going to get a little organized in a minute, we had to buy spandex. Green spandex to achieve the effect.
Only for my reasons.
You're not going to see on the film because when I get to post-production, you'll get why. We had to shoot the TV, and then we had to shoot a whole bunch of things. Getting into the second day, we now had 8 bodies.
Yeah, because your
cousin
was there.
We had you, we had me, we had House, we had the 2 actors, we had my cousin, we had Alyssa, the makeup artist.
Yeah, she did a great job.
Elizabeth, and then my mom. So we had 9 people. We had 9 people on set. Hot. It's hot. All the windows are closed.
I was waiting for football season.
I was literally so dehydrated and so dead that House had to take over directing because I was literally lying on the floor like.
I don't remember that part,
Yeah.
ironically.
Yeah, no, you don't remember me like looking down with my head in my face like I'm so hot.
Wow, that's nuts, man.
So the second day we shot most of my cousin's stuff, which she was really great for someone that was 11, didn't really have a lot of acting chops. She was the demon that was in the game that came out. And
yeah.
We could have done a lot more stuff with it, but when we get into post-production, I'll get into that. But some disasters on set. Some lights didn't work, I remember.
Yeah, one light was flickering or something.
One light was flickering. House always brings like 2 cameras with him.
That's one thing he's very good at.
So like one camera's battery was completely shot. Like no matter how many times you charged it, it didn't charge right.
What type of camera did he have at the time?
He had a DSLR camera.
Got it.
And that's how I wanted to shoot it.
Yeah, more like vintage-esque.
Yeah, I wanted one shot to have a fisheye lens. So
got it.
For him,
that I remember a lot.
Yeah, for him it was he's a DSLR camera. So he had 2 DSLR cameras, and one camera. I don't remember if it wasn't working or if it was the battery wasn't working. But that I was hot. I was half dead. My cousin was working on maybe 2 hours of sleep. So in between.
Oh, because of the Taylor Swift concert.
Yeah, so she was literally lying in Georgie's creepy bed. Reason why I say creepy bed is because if you've ever been to like a convict, not convict as in like a criminal. I mean like a convict as in like church.
Right.
And the priest has those like single beds. Georgie had a single bed because he didn't want to spend money. He's had that bed since he was 13. So she was lying in a single bed, sleeping while Alyssa was doing the makeup on her, and you'll see that in the movie as well when we do the watch along. And then you were working on 2 hours sleep and you were dead.
I kind of managed, but I was not in the best of moods.
Yeah, you were not in the best of moods.
Because I was in a Brooklyn party the night before, and I wasn't drunk, but like I definitely had my fair share.
You were happy.
Yes, I was a happy boy.
You were a happy boy. You were a happy boy.
So I wake up and I see on my clock it's like 7:30, and I was supposed to be there like in a half hour. I was only 5 minutes late, and then
you did a really good, and you still bought coffee with you.
Yeah.
So that was, I got to tell you, was if anybody out there needs a really good producer, Gerry is a really good producer, and for his first time producing.
I got coffee. I think I got donuts for people too.
You got donuts, even though I had bagels too, leftovers from the night before. That was just ridiculous. And
butter already melted from the room.
Oh yeah, butter was already melted. It's gonna come back to me as we do the watch along, but that's all the stuff. The 2 days, and then we shot at GameStop, which he didn't remember. The guy didn't remember.
Oh
remember
yeah,
that? The guy
I
did not
remember that.
Yeah. Shoot there, so we only had a small corner of the restaurant. Oh my god, of the
Game Champ
of
restaurant.
the Game Champ, yeah. And we were only shoot.
I have a funny story.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so remember I was wearing my Wu-Tang shirt?
Yeah.
And you wanted me to do a scene. I'm like, Christian, what about copyrights? What if we get sued if it's on?
Yeah.
And I was freaking out. I'm like, Plus, me being on like 4 hours of sleep. But still, though.
Yeah. Well, at least you were the bartender in Black Sun.
There you go.
Yeah. But
good things come to those who wait.
yeah. So I was playing one character, and then House was playing another character, which he did a better job than I did. I was dead. You could see in the movie, like, I have like almost mountain manish beard. My hair was long. My eyes were sunken in. I do remember that. My eyes were sunken in. I was just not in a good place. Excuse me. And then we shot there. And then that was it. Then that was a wrap. It was very hard. If I had to compare Black Sun shooting with Mindvision shooting, because Black Sun was really hard shooting as well, because it was a difficult shoot too, I would pick Black Sun over Mindvision any day.
Because we felt like we really challenged ourselves on Black Sun.
And then the next day, that Monday.
Oh, because I was supposed to interview Hawthorne Heights.
Yeah.
And you were my cameraman for that.
I was the camera guy. And I was still so exhausted from Friday, sleeping over that day, Saturday, Sunday.
And you probably didn't get much sleep because of how hot. I didn't get much
sleep. That you came to my house and you didn't know where I was, and my mom's like, he's in the backyard, and I was on all fours, like throwing up in the backyard.
Yeah.
Because I was so, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was I caught something from house, or if it was just I was so dead. I was dead. And then later that day, Georgie came over.
Out of all things.
And then we lost power.
I remember
because it was that hot out. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm on all fours.
Because my parents told me after.
Yeah. And I'm on all fours throwing up. And I'm trying to, and the house is hot. And I'm sitting outside. And the pool water is warm. So you can't even jump in the pool to cool off. And I'm just miserable. It was just miserable. I didn't know how this movie was going to come out. I was just half dead. It was ridiculous.
I think we forgot to mention that we forgot to shoot the last scene.
Yes, that's right. So when we got into post-production and we started editing the stuff, we went to House's house. That was also difficult too. Trying to get him motivated was very difficult. Not to speak bad about him. He was a great guy. He's a great photographer and stuff. He's a good friend.
He was punctual though, even when he was punctual for when he needed to be accountable for.
Yeah. Well,
one of those things.
He's a great guy. I love him. I think he's one of the best DPs on Staten Island, even though he doesn't live here anymore. He lives in Florida.
Oh, he's still in Florida?
Yeah, he lives in Florida.
Wow.
I think with his girlfriend, he lives in Florida. He does freelance down there. He makes good money. He worked at Huffington Post for a little bit.
I think right after our shoot.
Right after. No, what happened was the reason why we couldn't finish post-production with him, and I'll get to that in a minute, was because he got the job at Huffington Post and he couldn't do anything. But he was sick, and he was having... he either got diverticulitis or like something with his intestines wasn't right, and he was in the hospital.
I remember vaguely something.
He was in the hospital every other week. Yeah, kids, this is a filmmaking. You kids, you want to get into filmmaking? This is what you're going to deal with. Yeah, not as happy-go-lucky as the Black Sun one, right? But it didn't deter me from making movies. It just motivated me more.
It really motivated us for Black Sun.
But
because we were like fresh out of that in terms of like when we wrapped up.
Yeah.
Because we almost got into a film festival and we weren't happy with the final product, and we kind of looked at that as like, oh wow, I feel like we can really make something happen.
Yeah. Well, getting almost to that point, then it was September and October.
We tried to get Mark Sherrill.
No, sorry. It was August we started post-production.
Yeah.
And then this is also getting into my personal life too. It was September.
Mine was pretty shitty at that point. God.
September, my parents went away, and I had 2 job interviews, which didn't go anywhere. Then I didn't get a job, and then I came back, and my dad just had enough. He was like, "You have to stop this filmmaking stuff. You're not going anywhere with it, even though like, I just made a movie." And he started yelling at me, calling me like, it's a hobby. It's not a whatever. And it was a splash of cold water on me. Like I felt at the time I was angry, but at the same time I felt like a great weight was lifted off of me. So I went back. So at that point I started to go back to school. That was that January. So like, and again in the timeline, so we're in October now, and we're still editing. And then House tells me he can't edit anymore. So he gives it to his friend.
Mark.
he couldn't figure out what to do with it. Something with the conversion from Final Cut to...
Yeah, he was having a lot of problems with it for whatever reason.
Yeah, converting from Final Cut to Premiere is not easy. Especially Final Cut 10, which I hate Final Cut 10 with a passion. That's why I converted
Premiere has been working well with us, man.
Yeah, that's why I converted over to Premiere. Because it was just... It's so much easier. I started editing on Final Cut Pro 6. And then 7 was the same thing. It was just an updated version. Then they jumped to 10, which was just like... I just wanted to shoot myself. Because it was a whole new... They rebuilt it from the ground up. Which is just ridiculous. And then November hits, and Mark's like, I can't figure it out. Like, I can't do it. So I'm flipping out. We just finished writing Black Sun.
Yeah.
So we have to get into pre-production of Black Sun in January. Like, January, we have to get into pre-production. Like, now. And Ian's like, well, what are you doing with Mindvision? You got to finish that before we get into Black Sun. And he was driving us nuts, and I really was trying to focus on Black Sun.
And I fell asleep on the couch.
And you fell asleep on the couch. So then we went to Komar, John Komar, who's also a great...
Shout out John Komar.
Yeah, who's also a great... he owns his own company.
Yes.
In the city. He does great graphical work. He did music videos, which...
Knarf music videos.
Yeah, Knarf... What was that show he did in the basement?
I forget the name of it, but he had a big installment, and I think it lasted like multi-season.
Yeah.
And he had some pretty big names on it. He had like Atlantic Avenue, which was a big pop punk band at the time. Patton Pending has been on it a couple times, I think. He did a lot of good work with that. Also, his music videos are second to none. Second to none.
His music videos rival I say professional, but like the people like the big Mindvision, the big music video, the mainstream music video.
Oh yeah.
So I gave it to him, and he edited it. It was good, but I just got so frustrated. At the end, we were watching it, and there was one scene that was missing. He didn't do my cousin coming out of the television.
Right.
And at that point, I was just so angry that we couldn't get the movie done. I just said, fuck it, we'll just... As is, because I had to get into Black Sun, and I knew Black Sun was going to be the superior movie anyway.
Exactly.
So we did that, and we released it. And I put it into a bunch of film festivals. It almost got into like Dragon Con.
Yes, and I was pretty shocked about that.
I was pretty shocked too. This is around the time I was in school, so this was very I was just very, very, not depressed, but I was coming out of my depression. And getting more into like, okay, we can do this.
You were trying to do a balancing act.
I was trying to do I think I succeeded in doing a balancing act, too. So what are your thoughts on like the final film, the way it came out?
It surprised me in some aspects. I thought the acting between Glenn and John was very impressive in some of the scenes. Mm-hmm. When they were having like their arguments back and forth and it got pretty hostile, mm-hmm. I really liked how that came about. I think that was some of the best parts of the movies.
Their angry yelling, was really good. They built one of the things that I told them to do beforehand.
Hang out with each other. I think.
While we were doing rehearsals, was that I wanted them to hang out with each other. So they built like even if they stopped talking to each other after the film, which I don't think they did. I think they still hang out with each other. I wanted them to be friends in real life because that would build off of each other.
The tension.
I gave them that tip. Some other things was when they were sitting at the table, I said to them, use the table. I said the table is a third character in the scene. It's you two, it's the food on the table, and it's the table itself. Those are characters in itself, and I said be playful with it. They listened to me, they were playful.
Yeah, that kitchen scene ended up being very good.
As a director, you have to use things that you have on camera, not just, or else you just static, just two people.
Also, I have to give you this, the placement that you had of like the nerd stuff throughout the scenes, I give you a lot of credit in terms of how that was like displayed throughout like the whole movie.
Well, it's funny. With that too, and with the scenes where they were playing with each other, Quentin Tarantino, and I think it's Quentin Tarantino, if you watch all of his movies, there's always a scene where the main characters are eating.
Yeah.
Whether it be in Inglourious Bastards, which is the famous scene with the Christoph Waltz. He's eating cream, like a strudel, cream. The opening of Pulp Fiction. They're in the deli. The famous scene with Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta with the hamburger.
Right.
Yeah. So like, if I give any inspiring directors advice, is always be playful with the characters and the props that you have, because it makes it seem more real. That's
for sure.
Yeah, so then we didn't get into any film festivals, and I didn't disown the movie. I just ignored it. I was like, yeah, I did Mindvision, it's okay. But a lot of people liked it. Like a lot of our friends liked it. Thought it was
Yeah, I was pretty shocked as far as how the reactions were, because even though they admitted it was kind of subpar in a few ways, they actually thought the concept was pretty accurate.
And they asked me, they says, did I have any ideas for a follow-up? And I did.
Whoa.
I did. It was never going to get made because it would have been too much. And me, I tend to overdo my scripts and stuff. So the idea for the sequel was it wasn't going to be a rehash. How people do horror movies. It's a rehash of the same thing.
Yeah.
My idea was a failing video game company needs a big hit. Needs a hit, or else
I don't think you told me this.
Or else they're gonna go. Well, I think at the end of it, you'll remember. It needed a big hit, or else it was going to go under. So my idea was, somebody goes, well, we have to find people love retro. People love retro games, and the Mindvision game was a old Nintendo cartridge. So I said, people are now starting to get into retro games, starting to get into video game collecting. So I said, this video game company now finds the Mindvision cartridge and says, wow, what a great game. Let's repurpose it and take it apart, retrofit it, go into the metadata, pull it out, and make a modernized version of the game. Well, in doing so, while the development was going on, creepy shit was going on. In the building of the developmental center, people were dying. The same thing that was happening to this kid. But the best thing was that in the end, the guy tries to stop the mass production of it because he realizes, oh my god, the game's cursed. There's a haunting cartridge of it. The thing is, they mass produce it, and he's trying to stop it. And similar to the Halloween 3 ending, the game was going to get shipped out, and it was going to be opening day. He was going to try to call up all of these stores, be like, no, you can't sell, and the last shot was going to be people turning on the game, and the same thing happening. Again, the lights starting to flicker, and it says, oh, you shouldn't have done that. Stuff like that. So that was going to be the ending, was oh my god, it's out there, it's mass produced.
Yeah, really.
And
that's a good idea.
Yeah, and that's what the idea was, and I'm sure somebody's going to steal it now. But, because I said it live on the podcast.
And we take our bids currently at $5 million.
I had that idea, other stories. I want to do this cryptozoology thing, so I might just remake it as a 7-minute short.
Gotcha.
For when we do our web series that we're developing. You'll hear more about that soon. Yeah. So that's pretty much it on my end, Gerry. You have any questions before we get into the watch along, or?
Watch every single one of our movies. You will be the biggest fan of them, says nobody ever except me.
Okay. So we're going to take a quick break. Quick break for our sponsors, for Da Piera.
Da Piera.
And then we will be back with the watch along.
Lovely.
Episode of Collective Podcasting is sponsored by Da Piera. They're on 1970 Victory Boulevard. You like Italian cooking?
Absolutely.
Well, this is authentic Southern Italian cooking. They have a chef directly from Italy, which is in the city. Great Italian food. They have pizza. They have sandwiches. Real authentic Italian food. Ate there last week. Really great. I suggest everybody go. And Tell them the Caputo Collective sent you. Alright, Gerry, you ready for the watch-along?
Oh, it's going to be a good watch-along for us.
Yeah, we're going to watch Mindvision 2013 from Caputo Collective. Here we go. I just want to say real quick that this might be split up into two videos. One might be the podcast, the other one might actually be Mindvision. But unsure if it'll be able to, because there is a song on here that's copywritten. So like, I'll just put the link below so you can watch it. You can listen to this at the same time.
And buy their new album, Matt.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. So Glenn, he's looking around. I miss this place a lot because I.
Oh yeah, it did close, right?
Yeah. There's me.
Oh, you looking
Do you have
good.
anything older?
Oh, terrible.
Oh, that facial hair was sexy.
Me and
What about
my
that?
John Lennon
This?
sunglasses.
Imagine
wouldn't
all
want
the
Why not?
feedback.
Only had one owner.
Oh yeah, me and my terrible acting. Look at my hair.
What do you mean terrible face?
Chris, this is what a real actor
You want
does. Have terrible hair.
Have to have it. It's perfect for my review.
Okay,
Oh, here I
How
fuck up
about-
this line.
$10. $5.
Okay.
I'd give you 20. So you could get yourself a haircut.
Yeah, see, there's some copyrighted stuff like you heard, like the Majora's Mask laugh from.
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing. It must have been the wind.
Have a nice day, son.
Gotta say the camera angles were pretty good there.
Mindvision.
Mindvision.
Oh, by the way, the sequel would have been Mindvision Rebooted or Mindvision Reloaded. It would have been the name if we were to do another one.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So there's the lovely Tyson's apartment.
There's Darth Vader.
Okay.
Looking like he's about to strike Glenn.
By the way, I had to really like move the apartment around because he had like butterflies.
I was gonna say, you did a good job on
Yeah.
that.
He had, you know, my friend George, he really liked.
Finally got a girlfriend!
No.
He had to, you know, he collects butterflies and stuff. That Zelda poster, the
All
background.
beat up and drawn on. Does this game even work?
a good friend
Did some
gave
guy
that to
trick
me.
you into getting this?
It's a joke, right?
No. Obscure gaming is
But is it
awesome.
really?
Besides, we have information from these other review sites, right?
I say return it. It's a piece of shit.
By the way, it
If
is a
that's
real
what you
video
wanna do,
game
I'm fine with that.
cartridge.
Just don't
I
come
don't
crying to
know
me when the
what's
game
on
doesn't work.
because I've never played it. It's supposed to be one of those like multi game cartridges. There's like more than one game on it.
So I won't be home till tomorrow.
I thought we could have reviewed it together.
Next time.
He's all upset.
Got a nice couch to sit on.
Oh yeah. This is not the actual game footage.
Wait, what? Really?
Oh, no, it's not the actual game
Wow.
footage. We found this off of, funny story about that was House was laughing so much because it was just a random video game with like Japanese music. And
Yeah.
He couldn't get his mind around it. He was
Everyone,
laughing
it's
so hard.
John. This week's review is for Mindvision, and
that's my camera.
On a Retro 4.
I think it might have been the Retron 3, not the 4. Yeah, this was the scene that House couldn't stop laughing at. Because he was like, what the hell?
It is a pretty random game.
Yeah.
Wow, must be corrupt. Oh, great.
Ooh, what's he gonna find?
This was day 2, I think.
I think I was sleeping back there.
Oh, yeah. That was my cousin running across. Funny thing is she had to do a report later that year, and she used the movie.
Did she really?
She did, yeah.
Aww.
It was so good because like she's all like, oh, all my friends, like, oh my god, your cousin's a real filmmaker. Oh my god, what awards did he win? And we hadn't won that award yet.
Right.
She was
Yeah.
like, he hasn't won anything yet.
Next thing you'll tell
Yeah,
me
this
is
scene
that
I was
your
talking
toaster
about with the,
tried
with
to
the
eat your
table.
hand, or that your shower was leaking pink slime.
Cultural
I'm
reference.
serious.
Pink slime
This was in
Ghostbusters.
Pink
Ghostbusters.
slime.
There was something there that right behind me.
The power went out.
It Is your imagination playing tricks on you? I'd stop watching all those horror movies in your collection. It's messing with your head.
There was something.
John looks like an exquisite Target employee. He's like the manager of khakis.
One of your famously disastrous.
I know Glenn just got at this point got a job
would
at
I be
Apple.
lying about something?
Just
Oh,
really
and that
good.
was definitely perking up some stuff for you.
Oh yeah, I was like, damn it.
Didn't want
Get
to
me the job.
But the rent is due soon, and if we don't get a review out on something, then we could get kicked out. And since you decide to waste your money, this will have to do.
I don't even think YouTube had monetization that back then.
No, I
So,
don't think that was till like
so
2016.
I was like ahead of my time here. I was like, yeah, we're getting paid to do YouTube reviews.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it sometimes.
If anybody knows, and just comment below, tell me I'm wrong if anything. As you can see, he generally gets more crazier, like his hair gets more crazier as
Sorry
the
about
film
that. I
gets
have to
along.
start a new file.
Just grow his hair out.
It's a nice
What
effect.
the hell?
Yeah, okay, so yeah, so this
So,
Okay, fine. Yes, I do want to
I
play
do not
a real
to.
game. Stupid game.
yeah, yeah. I'm starting to see now why, like, well, you gotta start out somewhere. Oh yeah, this is the scene where she was supposed to come out of the television, like, a lot more elaborate.
effectively.
Yeah. She just stood there, like, trying to grab him.
Zoinks! This game's so scary, John. You know what's scary about this game? It is worse than
Action 52 is a real game.
I'm not reviewing this
Oh,
game.
really?
It is. It's a terrible game. There's only one playable game on it.
I play it on your podcast.
You
Yeah.
fell asleep.
It's the
right?
Cheetah Men, which
Don't do anything tonight. Go to bed early.
I am not doing this.
What did I tell you about these pranks, John?
They are not pranks.
No. How are we supposed to compete with those other review sites, let alone pay the rent, if you keep on complaining about fake games that are trying to kill you?
I don't know.
another one of my stupid quirks. Bite your nails. Like no, it's so stupid.
I'm looking out for you, okay? So,
I respect the plain shirts, by the way.
Oh yeah, I told him no,
No band shirts.
no band. Yeah, Jerry, no band shirts.
Just don't yell at me.
Inside joke.
Don't forget to get some sleep.
Yeah.
Would you like me to tuck you in? Relax. You're so uptight.
I don't know. Oh yeah, there was another scene that we were supposed to shoot in the hallway of him walking back to the apartment in the hallway. You'll see in a little bit. While all this stuff was going on. So
Oh,
see,
wow.
like, see, he forgot his bag.
Yeah.
He hears a noise. He looks up. He sees the bag.
Oh, shit, he forgot his bag.
And then he goes to grip the bag. The lights go out. You see your silhouette of the girl behind her. Oh, yep. You can see the light in the light
Oh, really?
on the TV. Yeah.
I forgot my.
And this scene was supposed to, like, how I
This
told
was,
him.
this is my favorite scene.
Yeah, how I directed him was that I said to him, I said, take something from your childhood that really scared the shit out of you,
Yeah.
and use that as your motivation.
This break has gone too far. It is not right.
Isn't some prank, Mike? I'm gonna sell. I'm returning this game, and even if I can't, I'll sell it back or burn it or something. I can't do it.
Do whatever
okay?
you want, okay? I am
And
sick.
then you can see, like,
of
everything's
this.
starting to fall apart.
Doesn't have
Like, the
anything for
Zelda
this week, then.
sign was crooked.
Even the angles, by the way, it's
Yeah, the
filmed.
angle, like, like Dutch angles. Dutch angles
Turn
are
it,
good
then I'll
for
finish it. Okay, please.
conveying antagonistic uncomfortableness.
Right.
Dutch angles are, like, crooked. Right. And there's House, there's our DP.
I loved how you two wore like the glasses and stuff.
No,
Was
we
that
were
planned?
we were actually wearing the same shirt that day. The
Really?
exact same shirt. That's what's funny about, and we didn't even plan it out. That's what's funny about it.
What?
The guy says the guy never worked here. I don't know what you're talking about. Tried to sell it back. He got $2. He just wanted it. He just wanted to sell it. He was just gonna
Right.
donate it.
Can you buy this game back from me?
Do you have a receipt?
I was never given one.
Then I can't do anything for you. Sorry.
Why not? Look at the game. It's
old.
It's old.
I can't sell this back to anybody.
His hair's pretty sexy too.
Yeah, this was when it was the day after his stomach issues. He was hunched
Thank
over
you.
and dead too.
You can kind of see it in the way he's expressing it.
Yeah.
Did you say something? No.
He thought he heard something.
Thanks.
And then the jump cuts here are supposed to be like
Mike? Mike?
stress, make you feel very uncomfortable.
I can't believe I can't sell this.
It's been a while since I've seen this.
Yeah. That's the real phone. That's his real phone ringing.
Yeah.
It's not like a fake phone. Because the phone was so loud. I think I called him.
Hello, Mike?
Wait, you're not Mike.
No, I'm not Mike. I'm not Tommy. Hey. See all the game magazines and stuff.
If the timing, if it was done a little bit better, that would have been.
Oh,
gold.
yeah, of course.
John.
So now you don't know.
John.
So now the one question is, who left the note?
Yeah.
Who wrote the note? Had emergency out of town, played the game. Who wrote the note? That's the question.
Oh.
And then there was supposed to be another scene after this, which of course wasn't shot, and we weren't going to go back to shoot because
Just with
we
like
didn't
time.
we didn't have any money left, and we were working on Black Sun and stuff. But yeah, and of course this
I actually learned to like this better,
Yeah.
like with the ending.
this music is not ours. This was a placeholder. This was from Halloween 3, which is why I don't know if you guys are going to see it. I might just have to turn the music off on the video. I might just have to mute it and then come in. So you might not hear a little bit of the movie a couple of times, like in the beginning and at the end. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's the movie. Real quick, I just want to say, like, this was my first film after film school without a net. So film school, you had a net of, like, overseas. This one was just
Yeah.
like, we just jumped into the ocean and see.
To see what happens.
What?
Hey, and the commercial break goes to.
Oh, no, hey. So, yeah. So, yeah, this was our first film out of film school to see, like, what we would do. How, if we were able to do a film, and we did. So, yeah.
We did it.
So that was Tales from the Filmmakers' Mindvision, Gerry. Have any final notes before we leave?
I thought this was a pretty good throwback to see how we've really come a long way as far as filmmakers. You know, my producing skills are still at a lovely, solid level.
So
And I'm going to get even more Dunkin' Donuts for you.
So Gerry, so here's a question. So the next time we do Tales from the Filmmakers, should we do the pre-film school films? As in, like, Galaxy Wars and Black Sun 1, Black Sun 2?
Guys, I want a petition on change.org for Galaxy Wars, and we have to get at least 1,000 votes for Galaxy Wars for this to happen.
So here's the poll, Gerry. Pre-film school films, which includes 5 minutes of my Halloween fan film. Black Sun 1 and 2. Yes, there was another movie called Black Sun. I just took the name.
You know, Black Sun 4 was first.
Yeah. And Galaxy Wars. That's one. Or the film school films. My films, which include
The one with Lou is pretty
which
good.
I think it's Concrete Shoes. It's
I love Concrete Shoes.
Morning Days, and my thesis film, which was Lost in Staten Island. And I think one or two other ones if I can find them, like they're on a hard drive. Or we could do the music videos. That could be Tales from the Filmmakers.
You know what?
Yeah.
Let's have a goal on air, and we're going to see how well we could do this. Let's try to get G Smalls on one of our
Well,
episodes.
yeah, we'll get G Smalls on the podcast.
Yeah.
And we'll have him. We'll talk to him, and we'll watch the music videos, and he could be like, "Yeah, bro." Yeah.
He'll give us advice about the MTA.
Oh yeah.
He's the man.
Yeah, he's awesome. I love G Smalls. Yeah. Also, we could talk about how I almost died on a couple of days after shooting From Me to You. I almost died in real life. But yeah. So that is it. So Gerry, let's. You have Well, at the time we do this, at the time it drops, it's gonna be like August 4th, I think.
So let's promote it.
So do you still have your
Restaurant crawl, you mean?
restaurant crawl?
Okay, so Restaurant Crawl is going to be from August 8th to August 10th on Staten Island. 4 restaurants in 3 days. We have Da Piera, one of our sponsors. We have Miller's Ale House. We have Jimmy Mac's, and we have Hop Shop. It's going to help give summer back to over 100 kids suffering from cancer and their siblings for 6 weeks free of charge to go to Sunrise Day Camp of Staten Island. Definitely support if you can, and we truly appreciate anybody who does.
Yeah. And follow us on Facebook at Caputo Collective Productions. Also, the Collective Podcast on Facebook. Twitter is Caputo Collective. On YouTube, we're on Caputo Productions, but there's another Caputo Productions on there. So if you see the Caputo Collective logo, click on that. That's us.
That's the sexy one.
Subscribe, hit that little bell to find out where all of our videos are. We have the podcast. All of my films are on there. All of the music videos are on there. We have Collective Gaming.
Straight out of archives.
Collective Gaming. And we have first reactions to the trailers that were coming out at San Diego Comic-Con this year. Bunch of more stuff is going to drop. A lot of stuff. Behind-the-scenes stuff is going to happen for when we start doing our film that's popping up. Our film hopefully, I want to... Chris might kill me, but I'm not going plastic. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. We'll have a trailer hopefully by October. In October, which it's like 4 months away, but I'll do it anyway. We're gonna have Chris Marcianti on, so him and me can rant about Halloween for an hour, while Gerry just sits there and just looks at us like we have 6 heads
and smile.
We're definitely gonna see. I don't know when they're announcing something with that normal attraction, but around when they start announcing their release dates for everything for the public, we'll definitely have Mike Levy on from Fuzz on the Lens. Might get all of them on. They're going to be arguing over who gets to share the mic.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it'll be Mike, it'll be Jason, it'll be Steven. All 3 of them get to fight on.
Our 5 fans on online have a lot of homework to do to see what they can have us do.
We'll talk about their Halloween movie. We'll talk about Operation. We'll talk about I think it was Bottle Rocket. No, Smoke in a Bottle. And we'll talk about Normal Attraction, all their upcoming stuff, future films, all that good stuff. That might be September. Not sure. We'll figure it out.
The schedule is immersing.
But, yeah. So thanks, everybody, for listening to the podcast. And
I love all of you.
Say bye, Gerry.
Bye, Joe Volanti.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And another 5 minutes go on.
We were supposed to have Joe on, but next time, Joe, we're all out of time. We'll have you on next time.
Love you.